If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight. First for the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing center field will be Dave Collins. Batting second at third base, Ray Knight. Hitting third and right field, Ken Griffey. Batting fourth in left field, George Foster. Hitting number 5, the first baseman, Danny Dreesen. Batting sixth and catching, Johnny Bench. Dave Concepcion will play shortstop and bat seventh. Hitting eighth at second base, Ron Oster. And batting ninth, the Reds pitcher, right-hander Tom Seaver. Again for Cincinnati, it's Collins in center field, Knight at third base, and Griffey in right field. Foster in left, Dreesen at first base, Bench catching, with Concepcion at shortstop, Oster at second base, and Seaver on the mound. For the Dodgers, to lead it off at second base, Davey Lopes. Batting in the 2 slot at shortstop, Billy Russell. Hitting third in center field, Pedro Guerrero. Batting fourth at first base, Steve Garvey. Hitting number 5, the left fielder, Dusty Baker. Batting sixth at third base, Ron Cey. Rick Mundy will be in right field and bat number 7 in the Dodger order. Hitting eighth and doing the catching, Steve Yeager. And batting ninth and pitching for Los Angeles, left-hander Jerry Royce. Once more for the Dodgers, it's Lopes at second base, Russell at shortstop, and Guerrero in center field. Garvey at first base, Baker in left field, Cey at third. With Mundy in right, Yeager catching, and Royce pitching. Dave Collins leading it off, batting .295 with a couple of homers and 25 RBIs. Collins a .314 batter off Dodger pitching. Royce looks to Steve Yeager and brings a pitch up there. It swung on and missed. A fastball for strike one, and this game is underway. Collins, Knight, and Griffey in the top half of the first inning. Dodger outfield playing Collins straight away. Cey just a couple of steps off the grass at third. Royce back to the plate, and Collins bluffs a bunt. It cost him a strike, and he's behind at 0-2. This is the 19th start of the year for Jerry Royce and his 27th appearance. He has 5 complete games. He pitches. Collins swings and fouls out of play. Back to first and up into the second deck. Off the right side as the count holds at 2 strikes. Jerry in a real battle right now for the ERA title in the National League. In fact, he and Don Sutton together are going after it off this Dodger pitching staff. Collins checks, and strike 3 is called. Royce came with a good fastball, and Collins caught looking as Royce rings up a punch-out on the first batter of the game. Steve Carlton of Philadelphia leads the league with a .222 ERA, while Royce and Sutton are next in line at .225. Others in that top 5, New York's Pat Zachary at .261, and the Pirate right-hander Jim Bibby with an ERA of .287. Neither Royce or Sutton have ever won an ERA championship. And Jerry right now throwing strikes here in the first inning as he gets out in front of Ray Knight. Ray with a .277 batting average, 11 homers and 65 RBIs. The off-speed pitch is high. The count evens at 1. Knight, of course, had the big 2-run 8th-inning home run in San Diego on Wednesday night to bring the Reds from behind into a 4-3 victory. 1-1 pitch, swung on and hit into right field, base hit. Sounded like Ray broke his bat, but a line single to right field. And Ray Knight becomes the first base runner as he goes the other way with a hit to bring up right fielder Ken Griffey. Kenny starts out this series batting .302, 8 home runs and 63 RBIs, hitting .280 against the Dodgers with a home run and 5 runs batted in. So Garvey goes to the bag against the leading Knight at first base as Royce prepares to work out of the stretch. Big left-hander looks to first, delivers, and Griffey swings and fouls it away. Defensively for Los Angeles, Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Cey at first, second, short, and third. Baker in left field, Guerrero in center, Mundy in right. And Yeager doing the catching. 1 out, 1 aboard, first inning. Royce pitches, and Griffey swings and fouls it out of play, and he's behind at 2 strikes. So for the first 3 batters, Jerry Royce has gotten out ahead very quickly. He is a man who normally is right around the plate, having issued only 30 walks this season in 152 1/3 innings prior to this appearance. The Dodger infield looks for the ground ball. Griffey swings and fouls another one away to hold the count at 2 strikes. Frank Pulley, the plate umpire at first base. Dutch Rennert. Harry Wendelstedt at second. Eric Gregg at third. Collins has been called out on strikes. Knight has single to right. Here's a pause in the pitch. Griffey checks his swing and apparently made contact. As the ball goes to the mid of Steve Yeager, that's going to be second strikeout of the night for Lefty Royce. Well, the two-out batter with Knight at first base is left fielder George Foster. Foster batting .258, 16 home runs, and he's driven in 61 runs. He had a couple of hits and 3 times at the plate and a run scored in the victory over the Padres on Wednesday night. And Foster's bat has really been kept quiet due to the Dodger pitching in this seasonal series, batting only .121 against Los Angeles. Foster's had 2 home runs, however, against him, and has driven in 6. Roy sets, kicks, and fires, and Foster takes it over the plate, but below the knees a ball. Dodgers have been an outstanding club at home. They've won 37 and lost 18 here in Dodger Stadium, but whereas the Reds have won 3 in a row, L.A. has dropped its last 3, and all coming here against the Atlanta Braves. 1-0 pitch, in for a call strike. Well, the Braves and the Padres are 2 clubs who have really given the Dodgers a lot of trouble this season. Atlanta has now defeated the Dodgers in 8 of the 14 games played. 1-1 pitch. Foster swings and misses. And again, we pointed up so many times how you try to figure out this game of baseball, you can go absolutely batty with the problems the Dodgers have had against Atlanta and San Diego. The Reds have a combined record against those 2 teams of 23 wins and 3 losses. Foster fouls it off first, and enough carry to get it back in behind the Cincinnati dugout. Dodgers are 6-8 against Atlanta, 6-7 against San Diego. The Reds are 11-1 against Atlanta and 12-2 against the Padres. Knight at first, 2 out. Foster strikes out swinging, and Jerry Royce has an impressive first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. After a half inning of baseball in the lid lifter of 3 in Dodger Stadium, the Reds nothing and the Dodgers are coming to bat. So counting this game tonight, we're at the halfway point in the seasonal series with the Dodgers, 9 remaining. Joe mentioned earlier, L.A. has won 5 of the first 9. That pitch is low and benches a pitch out of the strike zone away from becoming a base runner. Royce now 3-1 with a Reds catcher. Pitch. Bench bounces foul at third base. Johnny missing 2 of the 3 games in San Diego because of stiffness in the left part of side of his neck. But Joe Nolan doing a bang-up job as he has done ever since coming to Cincinnati. It's been one of the big stories of this club. Bench hits a very high fly ball back into deep left center field. Dusty Baker's at the wall, and the Reds lead 1-0. Boy, that was questionable from the time it left the bat because Bench really got it up in the air. Baker went flat back against that blue wall in left center and just slumped. As the ball left here, Johnny has his 18th, and the Reds lead by a run.
He hit the ball good, but as you said, so high, and you really had to wait to see if it was really going to go. But I tell you, I'm sure that one didn't sting.
No. Sounded very good coming off the bat. And the sound didn't betray Johnny Bench and the Reds because it leaves here, and the Reds are up by 1. Here's Dave Concepcion. Davey swings and hits one into right field. Going back is Mundy, has a play, and makes it for the second out. 2 down now for second baseman Ron Oster. Johnny checking in at 301 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs, and had that mighty big 3-run home run on Tuesday night in San Diego to pick up his first game-winning RBI of the year. Ball to him. 7th home run this season that Jerry Royce has given up. Strike is called. Swung on, bounced to second base. There's Lopes, and here's his throw, and that's the inning. The Reds get a run on a hit. Johnny Bench's 18th. And after an inning and a half, it is Cincinnati 1 and Los Angeles nothing. Well, it's the last call for John McNamara's club. We're in the top half of the ninth inning, staring at a 2-run deficit, and Jerry Royce, he'll go to the ninth inning, having retired 8 batters in a row. The last man to reach is a man who will lead things off for the Reds, Dave Collins. Against a drawn-in Ron Cey in the 6th inning, Collins hit a smash off Cey's glove that went for an infield base hit.
Dave Collins, center field.
Royce with 5 complete games on the year and 3 outs away from making it 6, and this is 19th start. Dodger bullpen back up again with lefty Steve Howe and a right-hander down there loosening. Collins there, and here comes Royce with a pitch. Taken high for a ball. Swung on and fouled back. Well, when you have 2 pitchers who don't waste too much time between pitches and both pitch effectively, you're going to have a quick ball game, and that's what we've had. Royce and Seaver, no fooling around out there. They get the ball, look for the sign, and come right back to the plate. Change is high, 2 balls and a strike. Reds have come from behind a couple of times on this road trip to win ball games, and if they win this one, they're going to have to do it tonight. Collins swings and misses. Royce fooled him with a pitch, 2-2. Ray Knight on deck. Collins levels the bat. Now the break-even pitch. And swung on and just got a piece of it. And they paid for that foul ball as he hit it off of his foot. Frank Pulley, the plate umpire, getting a new supply of baseballs from one of the Dodger bat boys, in this case, the son of Manny Mota. Well, Collins starts back from the plate toward the on-deck circle, and he'll be greeted there by trainer Larry Starr coming out to check and make sure he's all right. Collins now showing Larry exactly where that ball hit, and apparently it hit off the top of the right foot. Maybe flexing it just a bit now as manager John McNamara comes out, and Jerry Royce will stay loose by throwing down to Steve Yeager. Collins with a final word and now starts back toward the plate. Top half of the ninth inning, 3-1. Los Angeles leads Cincinnati in a game that has seen the hits at a real premium. 4 for each team. Okay, Collins waiting on the 2-2 pitch. And it's high, count is full. Royce has not walked a batter tonight, but he's run the string out on Collins, and the payoff pitch. Bouncing ball by the mound. Billy Russell near second, throwing to first, 1 out. Well, Royce keeps his record intact and is now set down 9 straight. Ray Knight is 1 for 3, and he hit one a bunch his last trip in the 6th inning that Dusty Baker went back to the wall at the 360 marker in left field to haul in. Pitch. Strike call. This has been the kind of night for Royce where you really can't go up there taking a lot of pitches, or your stay at the plate is going to be very short-lived. He's been throwing bullseyes from inning number 1. Knight takes it high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Knight swings and misses. 4:20 Cincinnati time will be the game time tomorrow. We'll be on the air with the pregame shows at 3:50 Cincinnati time. Paul Mosco, Don Sutton will be the pitchers. And Knight with a swing on the 1-2 pitch and fouls it off. One out here in the top of the ninth inning. Ray Knight, he got around, or did he? Apparently not. Well, the low off-speed pitch, and he started to pull the trigger, but was able to hold up just in time. 2-2. Royce back. Knight fouls it away. Dodger bullpen staying busy. Jerry Royce 2 outs away from nailing it down. The Reds are hoping for a ninth inning comeback. Knight bounces up the middle, but there's Davey Lopes behind second. Dropped the ball, throws, not in time. That'll be a base hit, credited to Ray Knight. Davey Lopes went deep behind second base, grabbed the ball, and then had it fall out of his glove. And Knight is on with an infield single behind second base. So after the infield hit by Collins in the sixth inning, Royce retired 9 in a row, and it ends here in the ninth with 1 out on an infield base hit by Ray Knight. Ken Griffey, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball to center. Griffey takes a strike. And Kenny represents the tying run with George Foster on deck. Swung on, hit hard, caught by Garvey at first base, unable to beat Knight to the bag. Ken Griffey hit a smoker that Garvey made the catch on, and fortunately enough for Ray Knight, he wasn't too far away from the bag and got back in time. Garvey, as most clubs will do in the late innings of a close game, will have their first baseman and third baseman playing deep and on the line. Under normal circumstances, that's an extra base hit, but Garvey was right there and picked off a liner from Ken Griffey. So here's George Foster, who struck out twice and is lined out to third. He had some weak cuts his first 2 times up against Jerry Royce before lining out in the 7th inning. So the Reds are down to the final out. Foster takes it high and away, a ball. Ray Knight at first, the 1-0 pitch. Foster swings and he misses. One ball, 1 strike. Outfield deep and around toward left. Foster takes it downstairs. Yeager turns, hands it to Frank Pulley, and immediately gets a new baseball. Inning open with Collins grounding out to Russell. Knight had the infield hit behind second. Griffey lines hard to Garvey. Foster waiting on the 2-1 pitch from the Dodger left-hander, and here it is. That's a ball high. 3-1. Foster walking around at the plate. Taking his time before settling back in. Royce waits on the mound. Garvey very deep at first, allowing Ray Knight pretty much free rein. Here's a stretch, the pause, and the pitch, and got around on a pitch up and away. Foster going after a bad pitch. That was ball 4. So it comes down to a payoff pitch to the Reds cleanup batter. Ray Knight will be running. Royce steps on the pitching rubber. Looks to Yeager. And the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and Foster's on as Knight moves on to second base, and the Reds are still alive in the 9th inning. So Jerry Royce, with 2 out in the 9th, surrenders his first walk. And will face Danny Dreesen, who has had 1 of the 5 Cincinnati hits. That was a single to center in the 4th inning. Twice he's grounded out. Pitch. Ball 1. Well, if the Reds go down, they're not going to go down without a fight. Have Ray Knight at second, George Foster at first, Royce behind the mound. Dreesen trying to keep it alive for Johnny Bench, who's on deck. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Time call now by Steve Yeager. He'll go out to meet with Royce between the plate and the mound. Needing breaking up. Royce with a motion. The check of the runners, a pitch. Just a bit low. 2 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball to first base. There's Garvey. He'll underhand to Royce, and the Dodgers win the opening game of the series. For the Reds in the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And the final score of game number 1 is the Dodgers move back into first place. Los Angeles 3 and Cincinnati 1. And we'll be back in just a moment. Well, for the most part here at Dodger Stadium tonight, the name of the game was pitching, and Los Angeles had a little bit more of it than Cincinnati did. Jerry Royce continued his 1980 mastery over the Reds by beating Cincinnati for the 3rd time in as many tries and coming up with a second complete game effort against John McNamara's ball club. As far as the hitting was concerned, it belonged to one Dusty Baker. He hit 2 home runs off Tom Seaver, his 22nd in the 4th inning to break a 1-1 deadlock, and number 23 coming with 1 out in the 6th. The Reds got the scoring underway and came up with what proved to be their only run of the night, when with 1 down in the 2nd inning, Johnny Bench homered to left center, his 18th of the year. But then in the bottom of the 3rd inning, a 1-out base on balls to Davey Lopes, who stole second to pick up his 19th steal of the year. And after Billy Russell struck out, hot-hitting Pedro Guerrero lined a single to center. Lopes came around to tie it up at 1-1. Baker homered to center field in the 4th inning as a leadoff batter against Seaver to break the tie. And then with 1 out in the 6th inning, hit a home run into the lower deck down the left field line to, as things turn out, round out the scoring. Cincinnati really did not have any other opportunities until the 9th inning, when with 1 down, Ray Knight had an infield hit behind second. After Ken Griffey lined out hard to Steve Garvey, George Foster drew a base on balls as Royce missed with a 3-2 pitch to issue his only walk of the night. But then with 2 out and the tying runs aboard, Danny Dreesen grounded to Garvey deep at first base. He underhanded to the oncoming Royce for the putout and the final out of the ball game. Dodgers had 3 runs on only 4 base hits, no errors, and they stranded 4. The Reds had 1 run on 5 hits, errorless baseball. They left 4 on base. Royce is now 14-4 with a win. Tom Seaver, in losing for the 4th time this season to Los Angeles, is now 4-7 on the year. So the National League West continues to seesaw back and forth. Houston, Los Angeles, Cincinnati all vying for the top spot. With a loss tonight, the Reds fall into 2nd place, 1/2 game behind the Dodgers, who now rest at the top of the heap. And as we mentioned earlier, should Houston defeat San Diego, they too would move into a tie for first place. And, well, it's been that way off and on all year, and no reason to believe that it will not continue. Tomorrow afternoon, game number 2 of this series, 2 right-handers. For the Reds, Paul Mosco, 8-4. For the Dodgers, Don Sutton, he also has won 8 and lost 4 on the year. We'll be on the air with the pregame shows on most of these same stations tomorrow, beginning at 3:50 Cincinnati time. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 7 minutes to play before a crowd of 52,560. The Dodgers 3 and the Reds 1.